welcome to or welcome back to my channel. My name is David and this is David's Closet. Here we like to talk about handbags, accessories, small leather goods, all of those fun things from the male point of view and on a budget. If that's something that you find interesting, please hit that subscribe button below. If you already subscribed to my channel, thank you very much for your support and thank you for coming back and watching again. I know that it's a lot of dedication to watch videos because of course I subscribe to a ton of people here on YouTube in this space and even in other spaces. I think as I said before, for some reason I'm obsessed with car reviews and handbags. I don't know why. And you know, just my friends group here on YouTube, it's so hard sometimes to find time to make sure I can watch, and not just watch, but actually engage with their content. So for those of you who make the time for me and all of us here as well, thank you so much. Today's video is a bag reveal, and I normally don't like to do bag reveals. I do prefer true unboxings. I think it's fun to share the unboxing experience with people. Especially, you know, me, I love to watch unboxing videos because then I kind of feel like I'm unboxing something too, even if I'm not. And I always make the most effort with the super luxury bags that I've spent a lot more money on. For example, Fashion File, directly from the boutiques themselves, like Louis Vuitton or Prada. Those things, I really try to do true unboxings for multiple reasons. One, to share the experience with you. Also, so I can relive the experience if I want to watch my video. And also, just to film myself opening it, just in case maybe there's something whack or something funny, you know, in the box, or the bag is so damaged, I have video evidence of me opening it, things like that. I don't really know if that means anything to any of the fashion places, but it makes me feel better. But sometimes I do have to do a reveal kind of like this, or an unveiling. And that's just simply because where I bought it from, I need to open it and look at it quickly because I only have a limited amount of time to submit a return or accept the delivery, things like that. So sometimes this does happen. Traditionally, when I've purchased from a site like Poshmark or eBay, I like to open it and examine it myself. I don't know why, I just do. But without further ado, today's video is on this beautiful vintage-ish handbag. No feet. And then this currently is the bag of the week, so it's filled with my junk. And it did come with the hang tag here. I do believe this is the original hang tag with it. I don't like to carry hang tags on my bags for a few reasons. Not a huge bag charm fan, which I know is unpopular right now. I feel like the ball chain could potentially damage the leather on the bags that don't have like the little D-rings for them. Like if this had a little ring right here, I'd probably be more apt to carry it, but you have to put it on the strap, and I just don't like that. So this bag, I'm just going to give you a quick overview here. It has a front snap that says Coach. It's a little worn, of course. This is a almost vintage bag. I believe it's from 2007. And it is part of the Legacy collection, as you can see here by the lining. I'm just smelling it, and you'll know why in a minute. So that is a snap button closure. On the front side, I don't have anything in there, but there's no crossbody strap. These are not adjustable, obviously. And this is very reminiscent of the old school Ergo or Ergo tote, which I really want, but this one to me is more usable. So I thought this was a great compromise for myself. And as you can see, it holds a ton. It's just an open top tote with not a lot of structure, which I really do like. To me, it's the perfect balance between structured and unstructured, because when you set it down, it doesn't just completely collapse, but it does also have some squishiness to it. And this leather is very nice. I do believe this was a retail bag back in the day and not a made for outlet. On the inside, let me take out some of my stuff here. As you can see, it holds a ton. I have all my pouches, business card holder, coin holder, car key, and then just the miscellaneous junk that I tend to carry. So I'm going to pull out the lining here just so you guys can see. So I've unpacked. So this is the Legacy striped lining from Bonnie Cashin. And I'll be honest, there's a part of me that sometimes thinks this bag might be navy, because sometimes in the light, that patch and some of the leather looks navy. And it doesn't help that, and I saw this on all of them listed for sale. but the stitching on this one section that kind of connects the bag, it's actually blue on the inside, but it has a little a lobster clasp to close the bag. So on one side, the clasp and the D-ring, but I wanted to pull this out so you can see it. It does have the story patch. It's not very well embossed, but it's there. And then it has a slip pocket with a zipper. And then on the other side, you just have 2 slip pockets. One of them is the perfect size for a Touchland hand sanitizer. So keep that in mind. The lining does come out. So there is what it looks like without anything in it, of course. Pretty good condition. Now, when I got this bag, I purchased it off Poshmark. I believe they were originally asking $125, maybe $150. I ended up getting it for $100. So as far as the condition, I think it's absolutely really, really perfect for being a 17-plus-year-old bag. There's a few little things, a few scuffs, but nothing absolutely crazy at all. I think it cleaned up really well. I used leather cleaner and leather conditioner on it. The straps were probably the most dirty. This stitching was black, so I was able to clean that up really well. And then the lining had a few marks, nothing crazy. There's a few stains that aren't showing up on camera. Just a little bit of wear to the lining. Like, I don't know if you're going to be able to see, like right there. There's a little wear stain, not really sure. I used, and I'm going to tell you what I did to it, but don't take my advice without warning, because I don't know if it works or if I'm supposed to do it. So when I got the bag, it had a very, very, very faint odor to it. And I couldn't tell what it was. And you guys know I do not like odors in my bags. And it almost smelled like storage with a little bit of cigarette smoke. And it wasn't super strong. I had my husband smell it. He said it reminded him of like someone that maybe is a smoker and they just had a pack of cigarettes in the bag, because it didn't smell like it had been like hot boxed in a car or, in a house that was full of cigarette smoke, but maybe they just stored their cigarettes in it. So what I did is I pulled the lining out and I used, and I'll insert a photo of it, it's the Zepp brand Oxy upholstery and carpet cleaner. And I didn't go heavy. I didn't spray it on the lining. I sprayed it on a microfiber. Got the microfiber wet, not like drenched, but damp. And I went in sections of the lining when I pulled it out, and I wiped it down, used the clean microfiber to go behind it. And that actually seems to have worked. It does not smell like cigarettes at all. It still has a little bit of like the old, I call it old odor, old smell to it when you stick your head in it. Just a little bit old, but I'll be honest, the leather scent is starting to come out in some areas. So it smells like a mix of leather, old storage, and then the Oxy cleaner is great because it doesn't really have an odor. So I don't smell that anymore. Now I did the first couple days because even though it's odor free, of course there's chemicals in it. So it had a little bit of a cleaning scent. But that has gone away, and I let the bag air out. I had it stored open with the lining pulled out for a couple of days, and then I conditioned the bag again, and then I used it. And I'll be honest, it's starting to smell like leather now. This is the first time I've really got my nose in there. I've been carrying this for about a week now. So I do love that. So not bad for $100. As far as pros and cons go of the bag, my first pro is the style. This style is just absolutely perfect. And for your information, this is the smaller size. And as you can see, it's slouchy, but there's nothing in it, so it's fine. This is the smaller size. There is a larger size that is easily identified with a turn lock instead of the snap button. And I will throw a photo of one that's for sale on Poshmark right now up here. Credit to Poshmark. Autumn Beckman actually did a video series on the Ergo because it's such an iconic bag from Coach. And I learned about this bag from her, and I decided to go ahead and just start hunting for one. I found a bunch of them priced anywhere from $200, $300 down to like the 50s and 60s. The $50 to $75 range, they're really worn. Most of them are the brown, like the British tan color, and that's what I really, really wanted. But a lot of them are really, really worn, and I think they're worn past what I'm willing to accept. And also the lining on those usually is pretty gross, to be honest. So I definitely wanted something that was a little bit better shape. I had it narrowed down to 3. This one I think was listed at $125. One of them was listed at $100, and the other one was listed at $75. And I was on Poshmark, and tip for Poshmark, look at the last time the seller was active, look at the seller's recent sales, look at the seller's page, because I have had several times where I've purchased something without researching. It just shows up, it's a good deal, I buy it, it never ships. And then I end up having to wait for Poshmark to cancel the order and refund my money because the seller is not selling. One of them, the one that was $75, it looked a very similar condition to this one. It may be even a little bit better. It had a scuff like back here, which I think I could have, fixed and blended, but they weren't active for like 10 months. And the last time they shared it was like 9 months ago and all this crazy stuff. So I was like, I think I'm going to skip and I'm going to offer 100 on this one and see what happens. And this seller had a ton of really good reviews. They sell thousands of items. And it came, like I said, the cigarette smell was the only thing I was not a fan of because it was not disclosed, but it's also very light and it's gone. So I'm really happy because I really, really like this bag and I really, really wanted one. I love the Ergo. I've talked before in some of my Vintage Coach videos that that's another Vintage Coach bag on my wish list. It's kind of been removed because you can't get them for a reasonable price in good condition. And it's not a bag that will be functional for me because it's so thin and it's obviously a shoulder bag that probably won't fit on my shoulder. So it's a bag that if I can find it at a thrift store for 20, 30 bucks, I will pick one up. But I'm not hunting for one anymore because for that money, I can buy a bag that I can actually use. But for $100, this is a similar design. To me, it's more functional in my life because it's thicker, it's a tote. I love a good medium-sized tote bag like this. To me, this is the perfect size bag. And I will put the dimensions down here on the screen. My tape measure is all the way across the room right now, and I only have about 5 more minutes to film here before I need to go, but definitely love this. I wouldn't pay over $100 for one if you find one. They come in so many different patterns, materials. There's this, the regular like gloved hand leather, and it looks a little shiny, but it's not. It's their gloved hand leather, and I'm sure that someone has conditioned this in the past and I conditioned it, so I'm sure it's not supposed to be this shiny, but I love it anyway. And then they had it, of course, in the jacquard, so I've seen it in the brown and the black CC fabric. I've seen it in the silks that were really popular in the early 2000s at Coach. I have seen it in patent leather. I've seen it in aged leather, I think. Lots of materials, so there's a lot of things to choose from, but I would recommend trying to keep it around that $100 mark. From my observation, all the ones listed well over 100 are not selling, but the ones listed 100 and below, I favorited a ton of them, obviously, through my, search, and most of them have sold. So just keep that in mind when you're buying these. That's the real estate agent in me, always looking at comparable sales to see what we should be paying. But let me know what you guys think of the bag. I'm really excited to have it. Like I said, I've carried it for the week, and I don't really see myself switching out of it right now because I just love it. And I also wanted to mention that this reminds me a lot of a Fendi bag, the Fendi Chef Tote. And I will try to remember to link my video below. I actually bought one of those on Fashionphile a couple of years ago, but it was the fabric from Fendi, and it was torn in two, actually, I think all four, where the straps were connected. The fabric had slightly torn, and I was afraid that it was going to continue to tear with use. So I sent it back, and I've always wanted to add another one of those or something similar. And I'll be honest, this bag I think is better because it's full leather. It only cost me $100, and it's iconic. And I've also wanted to add something from Coach with the legacy stripes on it because I think it's such a neat history. So this bag really checked a lot of my Coach boxes, so to speak. But I'm super excited. So take one more good spin here, and you'll see it's in really, really good shape. And as you saw earlier in the video, when it's stuffed full, it holds its shape better and it's not as floppy. But even right now, I mean, it holds up pretty well. Well, I say that and then it just topples over, but these handles are heavy. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.